Should I look at the camera or you? Okay.
So, what's your favorite thing about the president?
Well, first of all, favorite thing about the president is this sign here, man. He supports law enforcement. In many years that we have not had that type of support, so we need someone who's going to stand up and guess what, have a voice for us. And he is a top cop, so we have to go with that. That's number one.
And how has he supported the law enforcement community?
Basically having us a seat at the table, and he's always, every chance he gets, he's giving us a plug. Let us know how much that he represents and he loves our men and women that support and are in law enforcement.
Now, do you think President Obama supported law enforcement?
I do not think that he supported law enforcement. Matter of fact, he called a law enforcement officer stupid during that time. But he did invite him to the White House for a beer and a hamburger, though. We got to give him credit for that, right?
And which Democratic candidate do you think supports law enforcement the most?
Out of the presidency, you say?
The Democratic.
Okay. Well, guess what? I have to go with our Attorney General. He does support law enforcement here in North Carolina. Josh Stein, excuse me. We look at any others. I can't really name any.
Now, there's no presidential candidate. Do you think there's any presidential candidates that?
Absolutely. No, sir, I do not think there's one that's going to lead up to the President Trump's what he has done and what he believes in. And if they do support it, they're not real about it.
Now, what is it like being an African American who supports the president? You know, not just a law enforcement officer. Have you got any flack for that?
I've gotten a lot of flack for it. As a matter of fact, if you see this hat here, it stands for the Blexit movement under Candace Owens. What that means is blacks exiting the Democratic Party. And actually, I had a lot of flack in my police agency for me standing up and being a conservative.
Oh, really? And what type of flack from your police agency?
Well, let's just say that I no longer work there. So there you go, if you get where I'm going with that.
So you got fired?
Possibly, yes, sir. Believing in what I believe in when it comes to conservative views.
Now, would you say most of your fellow law enforcement officers are conservative most of the time?
At the end of the day, they may not know it, but they really are. Now, I got to back up and state that I worked for a Democratic sheriff. That's why I was in that particular boat. So if you get where I'm going with that drift, too. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it, buddy.